Lawyers for Donald Trump on Monday said the former president has so far failed to raise the money needed to secure a bond in his New York civil fraud case.
Former President Donald J. Trump landed into big trouble because of his lies. This time, he had to pay for the falsehood. He was having a hard time arranging $500 million for his civil fraud case bond. Even President Joe Biden mocked him.
President Biden joked about the matter, saying, quote, "Just the other day, a defeated-looking man came up to me and said, 'Mr. President, I have crushing debt and I'm completely wiped out.' I had to say, 'I'm sorry, Donald, I can't help you.'"
But suddenly a stroke of luck appears to have come his way. The New York State Appellate Court has eased some of his burden.
Of New York, this is where a state appeals court judge has just granted Trump's request to stay the $464 million judgment in his New York civil fraud case. The court has granted him 10 days to pay a reduced bond of $175 million.
What is even more shocking is that the relief comes with another windfall moment, this time from his private business venture.
Shares in Truth Social started trading Tuesday under Trump's initials, DJT. And they're selling like hotcakes. Investment experts are stunned.
DJT, it is exploding on the scene right now. So this stock is really defying the logic.
Trump owns 58% of the company, potentially worth up to $5 billion, quadrupling his wealth overnight.
Apparently, Donald Trump has defied the gravity in his civil fraud case. Just a week ago, he had admitted that posting such a huge amount of money was not possible. Nevertheless, things changed within a matter of days. Not only did he get extra time to pay for the bond, but he also managed to make it into the list of the top 500 richest people on the planet. His net worth has now soared by about $4 billion, enough to handle all expenses on his way to becoming the president again. Not to mention, he has been engaged in several legal battles right since the time he left the office. But does this have any value for Trump and a panacea for his problems? We need to get into the context to understand it better. The office of the New York Attorney General alleged that the Trump Organization and other operatives from the Trump family were involved in a financial fraud. They inflated the property values to potential lenders and tax officials.
A Forbes analysis of records suggests that Trump lied about the size of Trump Tower, claiming it included 246,000 square feet of retail and office space. Property records list 235,000 square feet. But not only that, 53,000 square feet of that cover less valuable common elements like elevators, public restrooms, and mechanical spaces. Atop Trump Tower, the former president owns the penthouse, with a net value of $50 million. Trump lied about its size for years, claiming it was 33,000 square feet, when city records indicate it's really just shy of 11,000 square feet.
All of this was a blatant violation of the New York law. Resultantly, after a trial held between October 2023 and January 2024, Judge Arthur Engoron ordered Trump to pay $454 million. That is a lot of money. If he fails to pay it by March 25th, New York Attorney General Letitia James could seize Trump's assets, including his estates and other properties. But Trump, as usual, portrayed the effort as yet another political witch hunt and ranted against the judge.
But Judge Engoron is a disgrace to this country.
He said that the verdict was nothing but an effort to keep him out of the presidential race. What is even more interesting is that his actions were even supported.
The first question, is everybody doing it in real estate? Yes, everybody's doing it. Not only domestically, all around the world. This is how it works, okay?
Feeling the heat of the situation, Trump appealed. On March 18th, Trump's lawyers wrote in a court filing that obtaining an appeal bond in the full amount of the judgment is not possible under the circumstances presented, because getting a bond for such a large sum of money is a practical impossibility. More than 30 bond companies rejected their requests for assistance. The court lowered the bond money and gave him 10 extra days. The former president is thankful for the relief and is confident that he'll be able to arrange the money this time.
So I greatly respect the decision of the appellate division, and I'll post either $175 million in cash or bonds or security or whatever is necessary.
Meanwhile, he also made his social media platform, Truth Social, go public. The stock suddenly surged about 56% at the open. Trump holds a nearly 60% stake in the company. At the surface, the situation seems to be tipping in Trump's favor. However, this is not exactly the case. In the long run, the relief is only temporary. Let us start off by addressing the Truth Social question. The company is protected by the lockup provision, which prevents insiders from selling their newly issued shares for 6 months. Besides, although Truth Social is making enormous gains, Trump Media, the parent company, is burning through cash, piling up losses, and Truth Social is losing users. So yes, Truth Social's current scenario is a boon for the former president, but its usefulness is currently far away.
It would take a little bit of time, so there's a lockup clause in the company that Donald Trump would have to wait about 6 months to, or any shareholder would have to wait about 6 months to sell their stock. But Donald Trump's board on this company are favorable people, his son and some former cabinet administration officials. So basically what Donald Trump could do if the value of the stock stays high enough for long enough is slowly dump off the stock, but he would have to be very careful to not do it too fast so that basically he can keep the value high and sell and bring in this big basically asset that's waiting for him to use potentially down the line as we get closer to the campaign.
If that is not all, Donald Trump is involved in a myriad of other cases, costing him a lot in terms of legal fees. He is facing insurrection cases, the classified documents scandal, the hush money scandal, and the E. Jean Carroll defamation case, to name a few. On March 8th, Trump posted a $91.6 million bond alone as he appealed his loss in Carroll's defamation case. Trump has already paid over $100 million in legal fees since he left office in 2021. And now the onus is also on the fundraising campaigns, too.
Well, let's move on to other news now. The U.S. President Donald Trump has changed his political fundraising site. He plans to divert more donations from political supporters to fund his mounting legal costs, as multiple court cases have put an increased strain on his resources.
Saying of the fundraising, the Democrat candidate and the current president, Joe Biden, is far better off. All this comes against the backdrop of a claim by Republicans that he is not getting enough funds for his re-election campaign. The Radio City Music Hall event raised a historic $25 million on March 28th, just hours before President Joe Biden and former presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton were scheduled to take the stage.
The idea that Joe Biden is struggling to raise money is ludicrous. The man had a $10 million haul in the 24 hours after the State of the Union. He had the largest fundraising month on record in February. The RNC is in complete tatters. The DNC is cruising. And anyone in their right mind would give almost anything to be able to raise $25 million in one night.
Now, the Biden campaign has widened its financial lead. In February alone, Biden's campaign fundraising team reported $71 million in cash on hand, while Trump's team reported $33.5 million. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Former President Trump might have been successful in restoring calm in his legal issues, but it is only for the short term. Truth Social is cranking its value up, but the tons of legal cases against Mr. Trump and the volatility of the situation can burst his bubble anytime soon. To say nothing of the recent reports of President Biden gaining grounds, the time ahead for the former president is shaky. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more amazing content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. We've got plenty of incredible videos on the way that you won't want to miss. And if you loved what you saw today, give us a thumbs up and share this video with your friends.